Alrighty guys, we're back for Flying Life Gain, and this is a Bloomburrow standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a patron suggestion. So thank you so much for the suggestion, it's gonna be a fun one. I would say the main build around here is actually Resplendent Angel. We have all four of them in here. It's a 3 mana, 3/3 with flying. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained 5 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. Okay. It also has a bottom ability for 3 and triple white, so 6 total mana, might be pretty steep. Until end of turn, Resplendent Angel gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink as well. Okay, that's not half bad, huh? Now, I do have a couple older versions of Resplendent Angel because I didn't want to craft up all the newest versions, but when I put it down in the description and over on Aether Hub as well, I'll try to remember to put only the newest versions of Resplendent Angel. Either way, keep an eye on that because maybe you also have a couple of the older versions. And yeah, I don't want to waste my mythic wild cards. We have 3 Archangel Elspeth packed in as well. This is a 4 mana, 4 loyalty legendary planeswalker. Has a pretty good +1 where you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with a lifelink. Okay. Not half bad. -2. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. It becomes an angel in addition to its other types and gains flying as well. Okay. It has a not half bad -6 too. Honestly, Archangel Elspeth, it just kind of feels like a good planeswalker. We just never get to see it, you know what I mean? Anyways, the -6, return all non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Not half bad, especially when we have so many powerful mana value 3 or less cards, like that Resplendent Angel, for example, but we have a bunch of other stuff packed in too, like all 4 Caretaker's Talent. This will work really nicely with the token generation on the Archangel Elspeth, but it's not the only token generation in here. We have like Carrot Cake as well as a 4 of actually. This should be fine and dandy, especially since it's a food, so we can easily gain an additional 3 life off of it, which should go a long way to having that 5 or more life gain in a turn for the Resplendent Angel. And we also have 3 clay-fired bricks. When it enters, you search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, but then also you get to gain 2 life when you play this as well. And since we have a few artifacts packed in, I don't think it's going to be unheard of to potentially craft this with an artifact. Now, it is pretty expensive for 5 and double white, but still, this is the type of deck that goes into that mid to late game pretty easily, so we'll see, we'll see. I'm not going to go over the flip side of this, just wanted to bring up that it also has a craft ability. We have 3 Essence Channeler as well. This is a 2 mana, 2/1. Now, as long as you lost life this turn, Essence Channeler has flying and vigilance. We're not too worried about that top ability so much as these bottom 2 abilities, because whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on Essence Channeler. And then also, whenever Essence Channeler dies, you put its counters on target creature you control. Not half bad at all, huh? Now, some of the removal we have packed in, we got 3 Get Lost. Those will do the thing. We have 3 Lay Down Arms, as well as 1 Elspeth Smite, too. More ways to gain life. We have 3 Case of the Uneaten Feast. So whenever a creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. Okay. It shouldn't be too hard to solve this. All you got to do is gain 5 or more life this turn, right? And then you solve it. And then when it is solved, you can sacrifice this case. Creature cards in your graveyard gain. You may cast this card from your graveyard until end of turn. Not half bad. I don't know how often you actually want to sacrifice this case. You'd have to be hitting some pretty good creatures for that turn. Okay, more stuff packed into the top end. We do have a Serra Paragon, so lots of ways to actually grab things out of the grave, huh? We have the Symmetry Matrix as a one of as well, so more ways to draw more cards outside of the Caretaker's Talent. So Symmetry Matrix is interesting. A 4 mana artifact. Whenever a creature you control with power equal to its toughness enters, you can pay 1 mana. If you do, draw a card. So that works really well when you're getting free tokens, like off the Archangel Elspeth, for example, +1. That's a 1/1, so that does work with the Matrix. The 4/4s on the Resplendent Angel. Resplendent Angel in and of itself is a 3/3. So, you know, if you're playing like Angel later on in the game for 3 mana, you might as well pay an extra mana, replace it, right? An extra Symmetry Matrix just sounds really good. More stuff on the top end. We do have Steel Seraph here, a 6 mana 5/4. No. This is prototype, right? More often than not, you're going to play this as a 3 mana 3/3 for the prototype. This is also just an extra way to put lifelink onto our creatures and everything too, which of course really helps when you're trying to gain that 5 life for the Resplendent Angel. Another top end here, we have the Eternal Wanderer, 6 mana. 5 loyalty, legendary planeswalker. No more than one creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. Okay, that has that -4, so it is kind of sort of the board wipe of the list, right? But the 0 in here, of course, generating more tokens, works with the Caretaker's talent. It happens to be a 2/2, so it works with the Symmetry as well. We got the +1 here where you can exile up to 1 target artifact or creature, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of that player's next end step. So of course, that could like blink the Steel Seraph to get the bigger, chunkier side of Steel Seraph, or like you could blink the Clay Fire Bricks, get those ETBs, same thing with Carrot Cake, all that fun stuff, right? Anything else, guys? Yeah, mana base, of course. We got 24 total mana. 2 of them are actually Fountainports, which should totally do the thing. It's also more ways to generate more tokens too, which should really come in handy. Over in the honorable mentions, we do have Ruin Lurker Bat as well as Bright Blade Astote. Both of these were in the original suggested deck list, and I actually really like both of these creatures. Actually, like, look at this guy. 2 mana, 2/2 with First Strike and Lifelink. So simple, yet so good, right? Like, it actually seems really good. Definitely something to look out for, right? It could be a great budget trade out. If you don't have like Essence Channeler or something, this happens to be a rare, and the Bright Blade happens to be only uncommon. So keep your eye on this guy. Invasion of Gobakon was also in the original suggested deck list, as well as Cavern of Souls, where Cavern was probably calling Angel, but I believe I dropped some of the Angels overall. So we only have like 7 Angels in here. I just decided that the Cavern wasn't going to be worth it, especially since one of our main removal spells is actually the Lay Down Arms. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, and sometimes I fail. Let's go ahead, take this into some ranked and see how we do. All right, right into that first game. What am I expecting from the deck list? A little bit, dude. I think there's a lot of potential for life gain builds. I actually think this is going to be terrific today, but we'll see, we'll see. Potentially risky hand. Look, man, we only got 24 mana in here. If we see more mana off the top, that would be pretty bad. We're keeping this. Yeah, I would call it unlucky if we see like mana off the top for 2 turns. Well, there's 1 turn. As long as we don't go past like 6 mana, right? Okay, Orzhov colors from the opponent. Might need some of these extra planes to discard anyways. Oh, okay, we're probably up against some bats and more mana. Well, we're okay. We're fine. Everything's fine. So, we're gonna keep the Lay Down Arms. That's our only removal in hand right now. I'm not gonna pick up this Life Creed duo just yet. Gonna be better targets for sure. Okay, the Augur might be a better target. Get Lost. There we go. Good to let them keep the Augur for now, but extra card draw could be really bad. Like, we could Lay Down Arms. We could keep the Get Lost open too. I'm gonna say, like, taking the turn for, like, Caretaker's talent could be good, but let's make it so that way they don't get extra cards during their upkeep. They go up to 24 here, and then we'll keep the Get Lost open. And Get Lost for whatever their turn 4 is going to be, hopefully, because I really don't want to pick up this duo. Yeah, taking the turn for setup means that they would have gotten an extra card, and they really don't mind losing life on the Augur, like, at all, so I think that would have potentially been pretty bad. If we had, like, token generation in hand, then maybe setup with the Caretaker would have been okay. Oh, okay, yep, they're going for the Offspring. We should stick to the plan, right? We should still take care of one of these, I think. The map tokens are really going to come in handy for them. Alright, I'll take care of one. That Offspring's really good, huh? Carrot Cake, okay. Okay, I do want the scry on the carrot cake. I'm thinking like, man, it'd be great to get extra draws on the talent when it comes time. But I think we need to peer on top here and get some stuff established. Essence channeling. I'm going to send that. I'm looking for like more top end at this point. We're getting relatively late into the game, right? Which is funny to say when we just played our 4th mana, but you know, you guys know how Standard's been recently. Yeah, I think we'll pop the carrot cake, not worry about like generating extra tokens and stuff. Just go for more scrying. And then next turn, we can always go talent and then immediately level 2 the talent, copy a rabbit, and then draw that way too. And we do have other token generation packed in, so I think it's totally fine to spend our mana while we can. Speaking of which, opponent has 5 mana. I would not be surprised if these map tokens are about to be popped. Zoraline's a problem. They're going to bring back the Augur from the grave for just 2 damage. That's a big problem. Okay. Swing for 2. They're back up to 28 here. Scary business, man. Life gain versus life gain, but very different builds. And yeah, we're gonna need to see a little bit more, not more planes. Another carrot cake. That's not bad at all, dude. It really isn't. Because now here's where, like, yeah, their augurs are gonna start giving them card advantage, but hopefully Caretaker's talent really helps us out here. That's the hope. Oh, I actually really like these Steel Seraphs, right? Because next turn we're going to have 6, but we might as well play both Steel Seraphs as 3/3s because they end up doing a lot against the board. Although a 5/4 would be better. Actually, yeah, I really like the Steel Seraphs because it gets around Go for the Throat too. So, yeah. That's not bad at all. Oh yeah, they take those actions. There's the Go for the Throat too. So yeah, I really like the Steel Seraph on top. It's just a 2 of in here too, so. We're also like late enough with mana-wise where getting this to level 3 is going to be really easy. However, this is also the type of build that outside of Go for the Throat also runs Get Lost. So if you end up spending too much mana on the Caretaker's talent, that could be pretty bad. See what they got for the turn. They have Offspring on the Cleric. They're just going to save it all, dude. Holy cow. Oh, Elspeth Smite's really good. Let's start. We're going to probably want to keep this Elspeth Smite open, hit that Zora line when they swing. All right, let's go Carrot Cake. Because we go back up to 15. We have 4 open. We'll have Steel Seraph as a 3-mana card. Get the planes off the top of the build, dude. We do not want any more planes. We only have 24 in here, man. Oh, another Carrot Cake. Not bad. Carrot Cake has been proven itself. So we've sent 2 planes already. Which I guess overall that's not that many, but we kept a hand with 4 in the starting, so. All right, Steel Seraph gets around that Go for the Throat beautifully. And then if it is a Get Lost, they have a decision. Do they take care of the Seraph or do they take care of the Caretaker's talent? Either way, Elspeth Smite might prove itself worthy as a 1-drop in here. Or a 1 of, I should say. Giving anything worthwhile? No. No, because I don't plan on swinging with these yet. We'll go like lifelink, I guess. A little awkward not to swing with these, but I'm trying to think ahead here for when we get to level 3 on the talent. They're looking at that plains like, hold on, you just wait 1 minute. Like, why are they keeping this plains open? They're probably anticipating an Elspeth Smite at that point. Or maybe they think like we have other tokens that we'd rather copy with the Caretaker's talent. Oh, okay. It was nothing from the opponent. I can only imagine. Oh! 2 more Go for the Throat. You know what? Maybe they don't have Get Lost in this one. Steel Seraph is going to be huge against this build if Go for the Throat is their main. Okay, yep. Doubling down on the clerics. Now we're going to start losing life without them swinging. Got to take care of this Zora line for sure. We just pop it now, right? I guess so. They still have this one swamp open they didn't use on the map, so maybe cut down? Maybe. Is that a... What is that? Is that a finality counter? Is that the one that they brought back? Oh, wow, guys. We got really drained there. We're at 3. Holy cow, dude. We might die this turn. If they drop the GGs. They didn't have it yet. Okay, how do we want to do this? We want to gain 5. Resplendent Angel's really good. Hold up. You know what we got to do? We got to play Resplendent Angel just to see. But we also need to pop the Carrot Cake, though. I was going to say, this is the old version, so it has an animation. We have lifelink on the Steel Seraph if we want to swing there. But we could also... We're probably going to die. I think we have to start with the card draw, right? We're probably dead here. Start with card draw, copy a bunny rabbit. See what we see. It's all planes. Yeah, we're not going to be able to gain the 5 this turn, are we? If we put like another thing in the air, these are a problem. So no matter what, when they pass it back, we would have went Carrot Cake, tried to gain 2 here. We'll still have 2 open. Swing with the Steel Seraph. No blockers in the air then, right? So it's probably going to be fun swing. Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fine, dude. Fun swing for the turn. And we'll go ahead. I guess technically speaking, if we keep the Steel Seraph as a blocker in the air... See, they don't have 2 mana open to take care of the rabbit, and a cut down doesn't hit a 3/3. So we go lifelink, go back up to 4, right? Swing. Keep Steel Seraph as a blocker for the sky. I guess there's a very small chance of survival here. Of the Carrot Cake. We should have gone, since we still had the 2, we should have gone Carrot Cake for the Scry, but since we needed that extra planes to do all that anyways, maybe we would have kept the planes. Ended up scrying 3 planes to the bottom. That is a lot. So all they got to do is play a creature. They gain 1, we lose 2, then full swing, we can only block 1 of these guys out of the sky. So that was going to be... I don't know if there was a way around that. What do you guys think? If there was a way to gain the 5 for the Resplendent Angel, then maybe. But it would have cost... I didn't get a chance to say GG to the opponent. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry, opponent. It was a good game. It really was. Would have been 4 mana total for Carrot Cake, right? 4 mana total for Carrot Cake. And then lifelink to the Steel Seraph. Oh, that could have been interesting, but it doesn't matter because they didn't have to swing. We also needed the card draw on the planes. So instead of activating Caretaker's talent level 2, if I would have went Carrot Cake, Scried, got the 1/1, right? Then drew the planes. We could have popped the Carrot Cake, gained the 3, okay? Played the planes that we drew into. Then we'd still have 3 open. Lifelink to the Steel Seraph, swing in the air. That would have been 6 life gain for the turn, and we still could have played the Resplendent Angel. However, it didn't even matter because they were draining us so much with the Cleric. But something to consider, as I do believe that would have been the more optimized play. However, since we didn't really know what we were drawing into at the time, spending 1 less mana on the Caretaker's talent, I guess, also made a little bit of sense. Because we didn't know what we were seeing, which is probably why we should have leaned towards the scrying anyways. Really tough decisions there, man. I think somewhere in that game, I think it could have potentially gone either way. The opponent definitely saw a lot. I think that getting those augurs back on the board, that card seems pretty good, man. It's kind of a card I overlooked because I don't like losing too much life, but when you're gaining so much life too. Opponent goes first. Yes. We keep this, right? I see no issue with it. Turn 1, Case. Turn 2, Carrot Cake. Pretty good lineup. I feel like we might have flooded just a little bit last game, but it wasn't like a very significant flood. Nothing like noteworthy. Just kind of happens sometimes where you see more mana than you want to see. Okay. We can successfully play, I guess, Plains, because you never know if we want to hit a 3-drop on the laydown arms, and we could see a Plains off the top, and that would be what we could do there. Another Get Lost up against potentially Azorius Control. Get Lost, Creature Enchantment Planeswalker. Luckily, it doesn't say non-land. It will hit. It will hit. I'm going to send it. We have laydown arms for our turn if there's a creature we want to get rid of on our turn. And 1 Get Lost is fine enough for me. If I keep that Get Lost, I don't know. That's a lot of removal, especially when we think we're up against Azorius Control. Also, putting that at the bottom gives us a higher chance of seeing the 4th mana, which we're probably going to want to get Elspeth down on turn 4. Hopefully, that means that they're tapped out on that turn. Because I think a counterspell on the Elspeth would be really bad. So maybe it'll be... Maybe we'll play around that somehow. Another Case. Alright, I don't mind it. Let's get that down. You guys can see how Case of the Uneaten Feast would have been really, really good in that last game. Actually, you know how I said potentially could have gone either way? Case of the Uneaten Feast would have been that card, dude, right? I think so. Alright, let's start with the swing. I don't think we want to pop the Carrot Cake over playing the Carrot Cake, but I mean, I guess, maybe. I do want the Scry. This would be a decent counterspell for the opponent, but not as good as the Elspeth. Elspeth Smite, sending it. Yeah, I do. I think like an early Case of the Uneaten Feast would have changed that last game a little bit. Definitely something to consider, as Case of the Uneaten Feast is a 3 of. That being said, I think 3 makes a lot of sense over 4. Because if you see too many of them, like first of all, what do you drop for the 4th one too? Because there's a lot packed into this build already. I'm not 100% certain what the opponent's thinking through here, so they must have a couple different options. They let 1 Case of the Uneaten Feast through. Sitting on 3 mana. Maybe it's just Union of the 3rd Path. Okay. They go back up to 25. That's a lot. Union of the 3rd Path on their turn to look for the 4th mana. I guarantee that's why. They find it. Okay. Look at this, guys. Mostly tapped out. Elspeth has to come down while they only have 1 mana. I mean, like, period. That's the play, right? I guess we could start with the swing. -2, we could buff one of these. I think we start with the plus, though. Start with the swing. Opponent back down to 30. Almost there. And +1 on the Elspeth. These Azorius Control lists, I feel like they have a lot of ways to deal with Elspeth too, but it is pretty significant that we have that established right now. Well, Get Lost, number 1 out of the opponent's list. At least we got a 1/1 out of this. And some life gain too. Resplendent Angel. Wow. We're going to be gaining 2. Pretty mana hungry, actually, huh? Let's start with the map, see what happens on the soldier here. See what they do. They got that 3 mana open. That demolition field, Caretaker's talent is pretty significant. We should keep that. Resplendent Angel is something we want to do after. Getting that established means board wipe territory. Without being able to gain the 5 right now, maybe we don't. Maybe we just go map token again, keep the get lost open for the turn, or keep the carrot cake open. Guys, I am going to play around the board wipe for the turn. Also, getting the soldier to 3/3 is pretty good. See what happens here. So with talent on the top, 3/3 lifelink. I think it's going to be Caretaker's talent next turn over the Angel. Demolition field. Crap. That's going to have us shuffle our build, but we got it. We have to take this. We can't just let us be 1 land behind. Yeah, we have to. So now, though, what that means, if we see mana off the top, and we get to keep our 3/3 around, then potentially we can have Angel pop a carrot cake and get the 3/3. Like that's asking for a lot, I guess, but we'll see. 6th mana from the opponent's going to be a Mirex. Take the turn for one of our carrot cakes? I think so, right? Because we get that scry. The question is, do we want to keep a plains if we see it? Carrot cake. Crap, dude. I like it. I'm keeping it. It's not a plains, so it's a little bit... Oh, wait, yeah, since we have 2 cases, that's going to be a couple life gain, too. Oh, that'll work. Let's see if we can get this 3/3 through. That's right, dude. That's... Yeah. Maybe we should have done that last turn anyways. No, our 3/3's gonna die this turn. Crap, dude. Okay. We still try. The Resplendent Angel, though, right? 3/1/1s. Opponent's down to 22. My goodness. Lay down arms on one of our own creatures could help us get there. Resplendent Angel, if it just gets popped, could be pretty bad. We're going to run into a board wipe next turn anyways. Then we still want to play around the board wipe. So, carrot cake, get the scry, right? I guess. It's like... We're trying to do a lot of setup here, and everything in the setup is based around the opponent having what they need. And I think that's acceptable. I think that's an alright way of thinking here. I just keep the get lost available. Like... Temporary lockdown picks up the carrot cakes and the cases. Gonna surveil 2, draw 2. Okay. So they had the counterspell for the Angel anyways. And when they had that much mana open, yeah. Makes sense. They got 6 cards in hand, guys. We are in danger. I'm guessing there's gonna be 2 more Union of the Third Paths in this build too, right? Jace coming down. Wow. Okay. I mean, Get Lost hits it, but is that what we want to do? If they go plus, maybe. If they go minus, we'll try to clean it up with our creatures. And go -4, actually. Wow. Holy cow. Going for the mill. They must have another Jace in hand, right? So, carrot cake, get the scry. Man, that Caretaker's talent would have been so good. Case of the Uneaten Feast I should send. Although a 3rd one isn't bad. No, it is, we gotta look for more. For sure. Going for the mill here is pretty significant for the opponent. Since we're gaining so much life, this game could have gone on for quite some time. Man, off the top is pretty darn good, man. It is. Play the mana. We go double swing at Jace to get around spot removal. 3 at their face. Unless they... Okay, so Jace is out of here. Okay, sweet. Yeah, if they had, like, Get Lost for their 1-1, then their Jace would have stuck around, which would have been really bad. Soul Partition! That totally ruins our turn. With 33... It totally ruins what we were trying to do with our Resplendent Angel and Carrot Cake. We'll just have to do it next turn, right? I think so. We can't let them play Jace again and then play another Jace out of hand the turn after that, too. We can't play Resplendent Angel into a Sunfall, because that's our way to reestablish the board. Sunfall Exiles gets around the case, and we haven't solved either of the cases anyways. Lay down arms on our own creatures, just not happening, man. We just have to have some patience here. There's the Sunfall. That is a pretty hefty incubator token. Carrot Cake, Scry. Even though, again, it would be nice to gain that life while the Angel's on the board, but we can do the lay down arms on our own creature, try to get an Angel that way, which would not be bad at all. Resplendent Angel number 2 is pretty darn good. All right. But without any other ways to gain, I suppose, well, first of all, we swing. Oh, we do it, right? Lay down arms on our 1-1. We solve both of our cases this turn. And get a 4-4. We're at 52 life, guys. Well, the life gain side of things is working well. Alright, Sunfall number 2. I'm not, as you guys could tell, not too surprised by that at all. So, Resplendent Angel. Okay. We go, Plains, Resplendent Angel. We gain 2. We should probably go for it this turn, because the odds of a 3rd Sunfall should technically be low, although I guess I wouldn't be terribly surprised. But we should probably go for it. Because outside of this, there's not too much else we'll be able to do for the rest of the game. So 3 mana for the other Resplendent Angel. We still have the case. Unfortunately, we're not getting 4/4s this turn, as it has been actually pretty hard to get the 5 life gain, right now at least. Well, against this list especially, right? They power up the 5/5. That's great news for us, man. So no blocks, down to 50. I think we'll survive the turn. Yeah, going for that Jace, that was pretty crucial. I think having that at instant speed taking care of the Jace was huge. Get Lost is okay. We can always use the other case to bring back that Resplendent Angel, but we are struggling to gain that 5, so we might just spend the 6. Doubling down on spot removal. Both Angels bite in the dust here is huge for the opponent. They fire bricks. Do we bring them back with no life gain on board? Yes, right? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, Case of the Uneaten Feast ability coming in handy here is actually really cool. As a matter of fact, Serra Paragon could be excellent, as we have that other ability. I'm going to go Serra Paragon route, guys. Right? We'll have that other ability on her. Long Rivers Pool. Oh, no. All right. We should get that Essence Channeler. And now that the Serra Paragon's back in the grave, the Resplendent Angels are going to be in the grave forever. Unless we see another case, of course. Take the 5 down to 45, dude. We're in an uphill battle. Temporary lockdown. Holy cow, dude. The opponent is seeing it right now. Clay-fired bricks. Not terrible. Right? Double down on these. Maybe we'll get the craft with an artifact. Get a plains, thin the deck, right? Clay-fired brick number 2. Get a plains. I'll tell you what. We're putting up one heck of a fight right now. We really, really are. Go for a Murex token. Sure, the opponent has hit seemingly everything that they needed, but that's kind of how Azorius is sometimes. All right, what we crafting out of the grave here? One of the carrot cakes. We got all 4 carrot cakes. All 4 carrot cakes in the grave. This is good, man. We got some serious resilience in here. Couple gnomes. All right. Murex. Opponent, can you skip your draw phase for a couple turns, maybe? That'd be nice. Wow, really good blocks for us. No combat tricks. Temporary lockdown. Opponent. Bro. Okay. It is now. It's the opponents, right? I can't imagine seeing it. And I got to get more games in too. Like, we're getting so late into the video. These control matches sometimes where you really feel like you're getting somewhere. Get lost. Wow. Do it on our turn so we can craft on our turn too. Wait. Crafting is a sorcery. Yes. Crafting is a sorcery. Opponent. Good game, opponent. Good game. We gotta get another game in. I don't think we're gonna win this one. They've hit every mark, every removal, every counterspell, every board wipe, hit its mark perfectly. I think we just have to call it, right? Here's the thing though, right? We showcased the deck list beautifully there. The deck list really did a thing. The opponent's deck list was just a little bit doing the thing more. If that makes sense, right? Yeah, let's keep going. Let's see if we can get one more game in, because we're getting pretty far into the video here. And while I have you here towards the end of the video, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Also, more on the YouTube nonsense. If you enjoy the video, make sure you drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well. It really does go a long way to helping the channel out. So thank you. All right, opponent goes first. Symmetry Matrix in hand. I'd love to see that do a thing today. We really saw how, like in the last game too, like having that set up on the board, like Caretaker's talent would have changed that entire game. Actually, I think we would have been... I think the victory would have been leaning in our favor. However, we would have been drawing a lot. So if they found like a second Jace or something for more mill... This is the type of deck list where this should be really, really fun to have life gain. However, they went first, and we might not successfully have a third turn. Carrot Cake, get the Scry, because we'll have a chump blocker for the hero. Don't need the mana right now. Definitely just need to see more of our life gain side of things here. The problem with chumping against mono red is trample at every corner. It's going to be Blazing Crescendo. They find trample off the top with the Crescendo. That is brutal, dude. Holy cow. We are getting our turn 3. That means something, right? The third mana comes down. We got 4 on the board, right? Caretaker's talent's taken too long to set up. Carrot Cake can bring us back up to 9, get us a chump blocker, potentially, right? It's really hard to chump block. So we keep Get Lost open or Carrot Cake open, and it's probably Carrot Cake because if we Get Lost the hero, that's really bad. They go Shock to face. They got 3 mountains. They swing. It's going to be the Carrot Cake. Let's see if we can chump that hero. Fountainport. More mana's not going to do it because we already have our 4th for next turn. We're alive. Let's go. Oh, we're not alive. No. Got ahead of myself. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Okay, one more. That was a really fast one, dude. And I'll tell you what, man. Against that control list, just like the deck felt like it was really doing the thing. We can get there. We could totally get there. Against mono red, that could have happened to anyone's deck, right? We only got 3 turns. Honestly, that happens a lot against mono red right now. I do wonder. I know a lot of people are really annoyed with mono red. So I do wonder if there's any plans for that. Because it is tough. It's really... Okay, here's some early removal. See, like, lay down arms would have really helped in that last game. We do have 3 of these in here, so... We go first as well. This is good. This is a good hand. Golgari. Duress. No, you get out of my hand, opponent. Don't take my carrot cake. Don't. Oh, my carrot cake. You monster. Well, we still have Get Lost open for our turn 2 here. Oh, a lot of removal. Hey, Elspeth Smite also would have really come in handy in that last game, right? So just like having that early removal, it really depends what you're up against because it is back and forth sometimes, right? Like every other game being mono red, how do you balance that with your early removal versus like more early removal? How do you balance this? Because all of this, of course, would be huge against that mono red list we just saw. But against Golgari, the heck are we going to do with all of this, you know? Getting Archangel Elspeth is great, but they do have a lot of ways to deal with that in Golgari, I think. So, and go Demolition Field on our Fountain, and we definitely take this action. Yeah, guys, if we somehow lose this one too, I'm not ready to blame the deck list. I'm not, you know? Another lay down arms. Well, hey, while we have this many planes on the board, it does pick up Shieldreds and stuff. And this is the type of deck list that runs Shieldred, especially with Phyrexian Arena. We should pop that arena. We should. We really should. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. I think that's totally fine. Especially when we have all this other removal in hand. We don't want them to have any card advantage against us right now when our hand is looking like this especially. Bitter Triumph. Okay. Archangel Elspeth's out of here, but we can get there, man. We really can. Case isn't bad, but not what we want to see right now. Some things out of order, nothing to remove on the opponent's side, but a handful of removal. Is that what we call bad luck? Maybe. Right now, I know one thing. When I look at the deck list at the end of the video here, and I go over the final thoughts, I'm going to look at that, and I'm going to be like, man, this curve is beautiful. You know what I mean? So, like, at that point, yeah, the opponent's probably like, well, sorry, you're up against me right now. Probably just one of the laydown arms. Yeah. Because Elspeth Smite doesn't pick up cards like Shieldred. This is a hugely Shieldred style build. And you know what, too? It doesn't pick up the Cottage. Deadly Cover-Up is huge for them, man. What do they want to hit here with the Collect Evidence, I wonder? Oh, they want to get rid of, but we get to replace them. That's not bad. Resplendent Angel. It was pretty bad to replace them with mana, though, right? Resplendent Angel is not a bad hit. Look at this. Look at that animation. Cool. I haven't seen an animation in a while, right? Do they still make animations? For anything? I can't think right now. I don't think so. I'm not... You guys let me know in the comments. Fountainport draw. Mana off the top means we are, unfortunately, in danger. And I'm surprised, too, because we only got 24 mana in here. I don't think we want to drop any. Very much a mid-range style build where we want a lot of mana on the board at any given time. Oh, no. Hey, that's my angel. Ooh, Aquazo. Oh, that's actually sick. That's a sick board state, dude. You know what? At this point, I'm just rooting. I'm rooting for their Resplendent Angel at this point, right? Get them. Oh, Symmetry Matrix. Man. If one of these planes was a creature instead, right? That's a pretty sick draw. Because technically, if we don't take too much damage for the next couple turns and see some creatures that can help us draw on the Matrix. I mean, technically... Oh, we're about to exile the Angel too. So that way they won't be able to take it with the Virtue. I guess we won't be able to discard. It's probably better to pick the Angel anyways. And then they get card draw, since we won't be able to discard. They go for the throw on our Angel, so that way they can take it back with the Virtue next turn. I mean, at this point, might as well, right? I'll tell you what, though, what we could see is, ooh, Resplendent Angel. That's not bad at all, guys. It really, really isn't. Oh, Resplendent Angel. That's not bad, guys. It really, really isn't. Shieldred punishing us a little bit here, but we are getting a lot of life gain. Look at this Symmetry Matrix. Oh, no. You know what, though? You know what? Their Aquazotes makes us discard the Steel Seraph draw. I shouldn't have drawn, because we got punished from the Shieldred anyways. Aww. We do have a double block into Aquazotes. We lose one of the Resplendent Angels. They flip Aquazotes next turn. I mean, we're in trouble anyways, right? I'll just go for the double block, because what happens if we don't double block? What happens is we go down to 8. They're up to 39. They have another Aquazotes in hand. Guys, this poor deck list, man. And like I said, I'm not even ready. I'm not ready to blame it on the deck list at all. I'm really not. All right. Well, let's do it. Let's do it, huh? They got great blocks here, obviously, but we're going for it, right? Maybe they'll take the 5 and we'll get a card draw. They do not take the 5, in fact. Well, we'll get the Aquazotes off the board. Yeah, at some point, right, once we got late enough here, they were able to get that Virtue of Persistence down, which is just absolutely gobbling us up in this late game. That being said, we're more than capable of having our own little engines with this deck list. And, like, sure, the opponents are showcasing just a small little engines that they're getting onto the board, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm kind of split right now. Is that lethal? It is. It's exactly 15, actually. Wow. Here, I'll pop the case for no reason. Drop the GGs. The case was holding them up, so I had to keep clicking the button over here too. I guess if you popped the case and you had flash creatures, that would work, right? That's kind of interesting. Well then, guys. We didn't get a victory today, did we? I don't think so. We're about 50 minutes in. We're gonna have to call it there, and I have a lot to say about this, man. First of all, especially in that control game. We showcased the deck list and what it's capable of, life gain wise and sustainability wise too. It's capable, man. It's capable. Put it on the do not craft list though, because what it showed in those lists or up against the opponent's lists is that the power level of standard is so incredibly significant. Like I'm at a loss for words, guys. I like need a second to figure out exactly what I want to say here. Okay. So. Okay, the power level of standard. Yeah, we've known for a while now that it's really high. Every opponent is really bringing it to the table. Every match is an uphill battle. It's like none of them are coming easy unless like you are playing one of like the mono red lists, and then it can be relatively easy, right? What could we do? What could we change? I brought this up in one of those matches. I'm gonna sit here in the final thoughts looking at this like, wow, that's a really nice curve. And it is. We're going up over the 2-drops. And what are we doing in the 2-drops? We're finding more mana out of the deck, which is helping us thin the deck. Boy, we saw a lot of mana today at just 24. I can't imagine going down to 23. I definitely can't imagine going down to 22. We're going to want to see our top end. We're going to want to hit 4 on 4 period, because there's a lot of things you can do on the same turn, like play a clay fired bricks, grab your 5th, play a carrot cake on your, like this is your turn 4, right? You get your little bunny. There's a problem with chump blocking right now against those mono red lists where like carrot cake is a pretty good card, man. But when you're chump blocking mono red, it's just a 1/1, and they're probably going to give trample to their cards. You know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I think we got unlucky. I think the opponents they just had everything they needed today. Is that always going to be the case when you're running this deck list? No, I don't think so. I think that generally speaking, I think some of those games should have been a little bit more even. Especially against Golgari too, when they require a lot of setup. Kind of felt like we just weren't seeing anything. That might be how I put the deck list together for sure. The original deck list didn't look like this. It had other things in, so maybe I ruined the original suggestion a little bit too, right? By trying some of my own things in here. A couple things too, like against the control match, if we would have had the Caretaker's talent, that would have been a very different game. I think that would have actually leaned towards us pretty significantly. Against that mono red game, if we would have seen what we saw against that Golgari game, right? I think that would have been a different match too. However, I do think that mono red was still going to pull through regardless of whether or not we saw 5 pieces of spot removal. So that's something you can consider for this deck list actually, is board wipes. Temporary lockdown and stuff, but lockdown's going to hit a lot of your permanents as well, including your carrot cakes and stuff. So like, are you ever going to accidentally hit your, are you, not accidentally necessarily, are you ever going to hit your own things and then maybe want to get lost your temporary lockdown? Maybe. That's a thing to think about. If you do that, if you go up like a couple temporary lockdowns, I would drop a lay down arms and go up the 4th get lost. I'm personally not going to change anything. I've been on the fence, but I'm pretty sure we got unlucky. I'm pretty sure. You guys let me know in the comments for sure, right? You know, it's really hard to blame luck, because it could really come down to how could we optimize it a little better so we're not just blaming the coin flip and stuff, you know? And I don't see a way through. What could we do? I also really like the Symmetry Matrix. I want to keep my eye on this card because, like, in the right build, I feel like this could really do the thing. And I think it was really significant to see this against that Golgari match, right? It restocked our hand really nicely. This would have been a huge play against that control matchup too. But I didn't want to have more than one, because if we do end up seeing multiples of these, when we're not seeing like our early removal, then when you are up against like the incredibly fast-paced mono red, and then you really don't want to see too much of your top end at that time. Just like the constant back and forth. How do we optimize these deck lists to do everything all at once? That's really tough, man. I could probably talk about this deck list for another 10 minutes trying to solve this riddle. There's some other things too. Steel Seraph is a really good creature. Maybe just having more of these could really help us out too. Because when it does come time for your turn 3, if you play a Steel Seraph, you're pretty happy about that. And you never know. Once Steel Seraph survives, and not getting hit by Go for the Throat is so significant in Standard too. Once it survives and you actually start getting that lifelink going on itself, if you have no other creatures to plug this onto, just plugging lifelink onto itself is good enough sometimes. I do like the 3 case of the Uneaten Feast as well. I would not go up to 4 of these. Oh man. Fountainport. The opponents did not like having this on the board, huh? I think Fountainport got picked up by Demolition Field every game we saw it, right? Demolition Field is a card that people are playing. I think if we would have been able to keep Fountainport around, again, I know I keep coming back to this control match, but the control match made it so that way we didn't have any of our card advantage cards, right? Including our Fountainport, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, that was one of the ones where they Demolition Field the Fountainport, right? So, I don't know. I don't think it would be unheard of to get a good amount of card draw from the Fountainport, right? Especially since even if you don't have tokens on the board, it helps you generate those tokens anyways. Paying 1 life is not hard in here at all. When you are gaining life, you're really gaining life. So I really like the Eternal Wanderer on the top end. I would consider more if it wasn't so expensive. 6 mana, right? We want this to come down, and this is like the only board wipe in the list. And so at 6 mana and you wipe the opponent's mono red list, they sacrifice their Heartfire heroes and you die anyways. So like going up to 2 of these doesn't help you there. It might help you balance the scales against like the Golgari list or something. But man, that Deadly Cover-Up taking all the laydown arms. Holy cow, that was a really good play from the opponent, right? There's an example right there where, yeah, we can say like it felt like we got unlucky. It felt like the opponents were seeing everything they needed to see, but also really well played. Like taking these laydown arms was so significant for the opponent because they were able to keep their Acklazotes around. We could have exiled those. They eventually played Shieldred and punished us for the card draw on the Symmetry Matrix. Like, holy cow, dude, that's whew. Yeah, it's like I said, at a loss for words. Guys, let me know in the comments what, what, who, why, how? No, seriously, let me know what you thought of the deck list. What did you think of those games? Are you as confused as I am? I don't know. This is one, like, I'm going to have to go back and watch the video. That's what I'm going to have to do. And kind of make an assessment after that. Because sometimes it's much easier to figure things out after the fact when you're not, like, in the trenches with the deck list, right? So, all right, guys, hey, enough rambling. Seriously, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions for real. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.